You're here because either you're coming from the Spanish version of the video or this is first time over, which is cool because finally I can talk to you about everything else that is not related to the Spanish learning itself, but the attitude towards the Spanish learning and everything else you do for this fluency. I would like to know whether you like it more in English or in Spanish. True to be told, making it in English is quite a challenging thing for me. So you can switch back to Spanish, put on your subtitles and you can watch me, real me. This is real me as well, but I need to think about it a little bit more. And maybe I don't retrieve my English words as quickly as I do in Spanish. Or maybe I do. Just let me know in the comments what you think. Why you are not fluent in Spanish just yet. I'm going to talk to you about what I think are the big truths. This is my opinion. Why someone would be successful when learning Spanish or another language or not. One of the things I believe anybody should be paying attention into is their own language, the native language. Speaking a new language, speaking Spanish is about building a new language in your brain. And if you want to build something, you should not begin from the roof. You should begin from the basement. How good were you with your language lessons at school? How perfectionist are you when it comes to the punctuation and the commas and dots and everything else? Are you detail oriented, using the right grammar and the right pronunciation and the right words and the vocabulary and using the order of the words as it should be? Are you learning something? Are you writing by hand? Are you keeping a diary? Are you reading your newspaper? Are you reading at all? How much interested are you in your own language? Because it might be that you've never been in touch with another language but just your English or your French or your German, I don't know. And it can be that you've never paid attention to that language. So now that you're learning Spanish as a second language, and this is the first time you're learning any other language, which is not your native one, you might be surprised how much comparison are you doing to your own language all the time. So if you base every aspect, every concept on your own language, you better have a solid native language to base your learning on. Otherwise it's going to be a disaster. So if you say yes we were or yes we was, that is going to definitely ruin your Spanish, yo soy, tú eres, él es, nosotros somos kind of thing, and you're going to be mixing up things. It's never going to work. And if you think your own language can be improved, that is quite fixable by reading. If you read and pay attention to what you read, you will learn very quickly. But it has to be active reading. You read, you maybe underline even. The second thing I thought would be very interesting to learn would be the listening. Listening is quite an important part of the language learning because in order to communicate verbally, we need to listen. So when I mean listening, I mean being able and having the possibility and the capability to actually differentiate the sounds, the melody and the ways, the tone someone is using. All those kind of things will help you understand better. So if your ear is trained, you will have better differentiation. If your ears are not trained to be listening to anything, it's going to cost you a little bit longer or some more repetitions until you actually go, oh, now I get it, right? So if someone is saying el agua or el agua, and then you need to make the effort of, making this separation, el agua. This is, actually I have a colleague online, another channel, and she's really good at teaching pronunciation. You can get to her. Her name is Claudia. I think you can find her. How do you actually make your ear to be a little bit more trained? That is not as difficult as it looks, maybe. Are you a fan of music? You don't have to be melomano to actually practice your listening. This is the idea. Listen to classical music. Listen to music that includes just instruments. You can start by listening to just piano. Piano is quite recognizable. And the first exercise would be listening to it for a couple of minutes, just a couple of minutes, over and over again, the same piece. differentiate the right hand, the melody, from the bass, from the left hand. That would be the very first one you can practice with. If you get comfortable with that, you can move on and add another instrument. Perhaps you can add a violin or a clarinet. Violin and piano work really well together. So instead you can do clarinet. Clarinet and piano sound quite different, so they are very easy to differentiate, I believe. Listening to a couple of minutes to that piece, focusing on the melody of the clarinet and leaving the piano on the second line, let's say. You can just keep on adding different instruments, and that will definitely improve your listening skills. And that is actually going to help you when listening to different people, talking with each other, talking at the same time, because we Spanish people love talking at the same time. More about that on another video. I think that's going to be really, really helpful, really. Yeah, so you should try and let me know. Why are you learning Spanish? Why are you trying to improve your Spanish? It comes to my mind, Simon Sinek's why. He explains it in a really good way, I believe, and it can be used as a guideline here. You cannot actually rely on the motivation. It is very important to have a clear goal, the traction that you obtain from these goals, which are based on your own needs, values, what you expect from yourself, from life, what do you want to get, etc., etc. It is all about your own development and the future, or motivation, which is like a ugly ornament that comes and goes and you cannot rely on, because whenever you need it, it's not there, and it appears when in the less convenient timings. Forget about motivation. It's never going to be there when you need it. So rely on yourself and the goals and the plan that you put together to learn your Spanish. The interesting part here is to actually have this time to exercise and write down manually, if you can, and write down why is it that you want to learn Spanish, and identify which ones are those marks that will tell you when you reach that point. For example, Spanish might be that you want to get a promotion, or you're expecting to get a raise. So you will be sure that you reach that level when you sign your new payslip or you get this promotion in writing. This is going to be an obvious one. But maybe it could be that Spanish means freedom for you, but freedom comes in different formats. Some people think freedom is getting divorced. Some others think freedom is being financially independent. So think and write down why is it so important for you to learn Spanish, because you might realize you don't actually care that much, and maybe if you don't get the Spanish, what is it going to change in my life? Maybe nothing changes really. Or how bad am I going to feel if I don't get to learn Spanish? That is going to give you a little bit of a, just get the temperature of how big your wheel is. Oh, the time. How much time do you spend with Spanish? Really, how much time do you spend putting some effort in Spanish? I have Spanish lessons twice a week for an hour. Okay, well, most likely this is an environment which is super fake, because the context is just few people pretending speaking Spanish. There is no native, maybe even not even the teacher's native Spanish speaker. How long are you expecting to take? How effective do you think it's going to be for your learning? How good are you going to be after the lesson? Come on, twice a week for an hour, that is nothing. Imagine like an 18-year-old coming to me and saying, look, I want to be a lawyer. I'm going to spend 2 hours a week in an academy to become a lawyer. And then I will ask, okay, and how many years do you expect this is going to take you? Right? So, one thing, if you're serious about it, you might want to rethink about the time that you put into it. And second, the time that you put into it has to be the most productive. You want to move fast, right? Okay, if this is all time you have, you better do a good job. I'm going to be working on my garden today, and I'm going to be listening to the Spanish podcast in the background. Yay, great, but this is like, oh no, it's passive learning. No, it's passive nothing. It's just entertainment, because your focus is in the garden. So your brain is not actually thinking about the Spanish, it's thinking about the garden. The Spanish is there. like this app running on the second line. So it's not actually as effective as if you work on it directly. So if you want to spend time with the Spanish, make sure that you make the most of it and you have some effort. I mean, you have to sweat it. Because let's be honest, what is fluency? How are we going to get fluent? Fluent for me means being able to retrieve the right words at the right time from your brain to your mouth, real time, as quickly as possible. And that is about the synapses in your neurons, is being fast with the signals. It's electrical signal. And that is something that can be trained. And what you want to achieve is to be fast with that exercise. If you don't exercise hard, you're never going to get it. How do you make the 100 meters running? How do you run? Practicing. How do you practice? Putting a plan and repeating and repeating and repeating again and again. But if you go having a walk around in the park, you're never going to make the 100 meters, right? So this is the same thing. So make sure that you put your focus on the learning that you're doing. It's like quantics. When you put your focus on something, that something becomes real. It emerges. It happens. It becomes real. So this is what you want to do. If you put your focus in Spanish, it will appear as a real thing for you as well. I am very thankful that you're here still. So let me know in the comments how it goes and if those tips are helpful. And yeah, vamos viendo. Thank you.